start the story at Castle Black. Three wankers head into the frosty bush. They discover a camp of dead wildlings that come back to life and hunt them. This fucker gets his head chopped off. This fella is allowed to live until he returns home and is labelled as a deserter. Lord Eddard Stark doesn't like it, but the rules are the rules, so he cuts his fucking head off. We also get to meet Eddard's kids. There's Branno, Rico, Robbo, Jono, but he's a bastard. There's Arya and Sansa. As if he doesn't have enough kids, he also stole one from the Greyjoys called Theon. His missus doesn't like Jono and Theon because they take up space at their private estate home in Winterfell. Jono also gets given the shit albino pet. Meanwhile, at King's Landing, Jon Arryn, the Hand of the King, is fucking dead. The Queen, Cersei Lannister, and her brother Jaime appear happy about that. Back in the north, Ned cleans his sword. Cat tells him the gossip about Jon Arryn's death and how his mate, King Robert Baratheon, is bloody coming to visit. The dining hall gets decorated, the Stark boys get spruced up, Branno keeps a lookout for the king, then gets scunted by his mum for climbing. He promises not to do it anymore. The king arrives, him and Ned have a bit of banter, and then give each other a fucking man hug. Down in the crypts, Robbo says, yeah, nah, you should be the new Hand of the King. He then does a speedy walk-off before Ned can answer. Jaime finds his brother Tyrion at Winterfell's brothel. He says, don't forget we got a reservation for dinner, eh? He then leaves his bro to enjoy his entree. King Robbo visits the grave of Ned's sister, who he loved the shit out of. He started a whole war to win her back and conquer the Targaryens. Cut to Daenerys Targaryen hiding out across the narrow sea. Her brother Viserys checks her hair and her boobs. He wants to sell her for an army that will help him win back the Iron Throne. Oh yeah, nah, also Targaryens have like dragon blood in their veins, so aren't perturbed by hot baths. Dany meets her future husband, Khal Drogo. She admits she thinks Khal is a bit stinky. Viserys says, well nah, too bad, you're marrying him, end of story. Sansa has a chat to her mum about how she has a crush on Prince Joffrey, the son of King Robbo and Cersei apparently. The party kicks off. Cersei gets cheated on immediately. Jono isn't even allowed into the party, so chats to his uncle Benjen about joining the Night's Watch. He then has a yarn with Tyrion. Ned then chats to Benno about the Night's Watch boy he beheaded and whether or not White Walkers are real. Benjen can neither confirm nor deny. Sansa gets to meet the Queen and is asked if she's had her period yet. Joffrey gives her a cheeky smile, and then Arya causes trouble and gets sent to bed without any fucking dessert. Later that night, a message is delivered saying that the Lannisters killed the former Hand of the King. Ned is now understandably worried about his new job. At Daenerys' Dothraki wedding, there's a band, there's public fucking, some killing, and a bloke called Jorah wants to work for her and her brother. She then gets given some dragon eggs, a fucking mint horse, but gets raped on a cliff. Finally, Ned leaves for King's Landing, Branno catches the Lannister twins having a root, and Jaime pushes him out a window. Should have listened to his mum. End. What a fair dinkum ripper of an opening episode. The whole 1 hour is so dense with information and characterization. It's one big, great fucking setup. What I love most about the episode, though, is how much we instantly give a shit about the Stark family. We meet Eddard having to do a horrible thing, but also taking the opportunity to teach his sons about duty, honour, responsibility. He tells Branno that the man who passes the sentence should swing the sword, and this tells us a lot from the outset about Ned and his family values. He's a bloke who takes responsibility seriously. We see just enough of him and his family living a content life before he has to bugger off at the end. We see enough of them to give a shit. On the flip side, the Lannisters are also very well set up in this episode. The Starks are the down-to-earth family viewers can relate to and get behind, and the Lannisters are the rich, selfish, fucked-up wankers that we won't necessarily like, but we'll sure as hell find them fascinating and entertaining. So the episode very much sets up these two important families in the world of Westeros and how their lives are going to become entangled once King Robbo calls on Ned for help. The episode is called Winter is Coming, and besides setting up our major characters, it sets up the ominous idea of winter about to hit Westeros. The big concern for the kingdom will be what comes with winter, which is set up in scene 1 very efficiently. Fucking undead wankers and inhumane creatures come with winter by the looks. This concept of winter is coming perhaps works as a key theme for this entire show. For me, it's the idea that happy days and peace can only last so long. People will fight amongst themselves, look to start wars over a throne and to have power, and then shit will settle down for a while, everyone will start families, and then someone else will look to kick up a fight again for wealth and power. Winter is coming can be interpreted as dark, cold shit is coming, whether it's humans being dark and cold to one another, or literally, dark, cold shit is approaching a wall that keeps it out. It's hard to pick a crap scene in this episode. My favourite scenes are the Ned and Robbo ones. We get a good sense of their backstory as friends, which is important because it needs to be logical that Ned would leave his cushy life in Winterfell. I also really like the Targaryen scenes. We have great supernatural villains introduced at the beginning, but by the way Viserys treats his sis and his smugness to conquer, this makes him a great human villain. The Lannisters don't seem outright villainous, especially not Tyrion, so it's nice to have a clean-cut human villain in fucking Viserys there. I love the chat between Tyrion and Jono as well, two misfits within their respective families. Jono is a grouchy, brooding motherfucker, so it's nice to see someone try and harden him up a bit by sharing knowledge of how he copes with dickheads. Uncle Benjen, also a top bloke, I enjoyed his presence too. As I said, it's hard to pick a weak fucking scene. This really is a ripper of a setup for what's to come. So yeah, cheers.